Hello and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. I'm Jurnee Taylor and here's some of the headlines we're following for you right now. First, Ivanka Trump takes the witness stand at the civil fraud trial against the Trump organization. We'll take a closer look at what's happening in New York and the questions she's facing on the stand. Plus, a big election night for Democrats and abortion rights in some key races. More with the results and what that could signal ahead of 2024. And with Thanksgiving just a few weeks away, grocery stores aren't the only ones working to ensure their shelves are stocked. Find out how you can help someone in need this holiday season. More on all of that soon, but first a look at weather. We're joined by meteorologist Nathan Scott. Nathan, good afternoon. Listen, this Tuesday is warm, breezy, and a bit humid. Ugh.
Tuesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. That's why you're pausing.
You're wearing pink. I
am wearing pink on Wednesday. I'm not thinking straight today. It's Wednesday.
Good afternoon to you, Jurnee. The winds are whipping around central Arkansas on this Wednesday, and it is raining leaves. It looks like it could rain out there with a deck of clouds, as expected, have been very stubborn to move out, but they have started to clear out into western parts of the state. It's 81 in Russellville, even with the clouds around, with that warm wind, we're into the mid-70s in Little Rock, 77 in Pine Bluff. These winds, they mean business. They're cranking in from the south-southwest about 10 to 20 miles per hour, but gusts have been as high as 25 to 30 miles per hour. These clouds will clear out going into this afternoon, and temperatures will continue to climb up into the upper 70s to lower 80s. The record high at Little Rock is 81, set back in 2005, and I think we will certainly reach that number at least. Change is coming, though. There you see the record for today, 81, but the temperature 4 p.m. on Thursday, it's going to be much cooler. I'll have that number coming up for you and also talk about a good chance of a soaking rain in my forecast.
All right, Nathan, thank you for that tease. Well, we begin with news out of New York. The fourth and final Trump family member is on the stand today in the civil trial against that alleges widespread fraud in the Trump family business. Now, Michael George is at the courthouse in Lower Manhattan with more.
Ivanka Trump arrived at the courthouse for her testimony in the civil fraud trial against the Trump organization. Unlike her two brothers and her father, former President Trump, she is not a defendant in this case. On the witness stand this morning, Ivanka Trump said she focused on redeveloping the Doral Golf Course in Florida and the old post office property in Washington when she served as a top executive at the company. She said she was generally familiar with accounting practices, but was not a specialist.
She will attempt today to distance herself from the company, but unfortunately the facts will reveal that in fact that she was very much involved.
The $250 million civil lawsuit alleges that the value of properties was inflated, defrauding banks and insurers in the process. Trump and his family members deny any wrongdoing. Ivanka Trump's testimony comes after her father was on the stand Monday here in Lower Manhattan. During hours of heated testimony, Trump clashed with prosecutors and the judge, refusing to answer questions with a yes or no. At one point, the judge threatened to remove Trump from the witness stand. Outside the courtroom, the current GOP frontrunner lashed out.
Because it's a scam, and this is a case that should have never been brought.
The judge has already found Trump and his company liable for fraud. This trial will determine how much Trump has to pay in penalties. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
And the case against Ivanka Trump was dismissed in June because of the age of the allegations outside of the statute of limitations. She fought against testifying publicly, but ultimately lost. An election night resulted in a lot of big wins for Democrats as the abortion issue helped drive voters to the polls. In Ohio, voters approved a measure to enshrine a right to abortion in the state's constitution, adding to the string of victories in all 7 states where the issue has been on the ballot so far. Now, abortion rights were also indirectly on the ballot in Virginia, where Democrats took control of the House of Delegates and hold onto their control of the Senate.
We know that when abortion is on the ballot, women's lives matter and people show up and vote.
This is going to give Democrats and abortion rights activists a lot of optimism going forward.
Democratic Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear defeated Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who was endorsed by former President Trump. And Mississippi Republican Governor Tate Reeves managed to hold on a challenge from Democratic Brandon Presley. Well, local news, the Mayflower Police Department is warning of a scam targeting people statewide. If you have received a call from someone who says they're police, you're asked to likely know that this is a target. Police say the person on the other end asks you to sign legal documents. However, Detective Robert Hensley with the department says they don't have anyone making calls like that. Now, according to Hensley, at least 10 people have gotten this call since Monday afternoon.
If we don't and we act like it's not a big deal, then we're not going to get that trust. That's why we take it serious and jumped into it head first.
As a reminder, if you're concerned the call you got is real or not, the easiest thing you can do is call the department to check. And Little Rock City leaders are taking steps to ensure safety in school zones. It comes after a school security officer was hit and killed while directing traffic on the first day of school. During the Little Rock City Board meeting on Tuesday night, parents and school leaders voiced their concerns and discussed possible solutions. Some of the options being discussed include a speed enforcement camera, a traffic light, and reworking the asphalt for better tire traction. At the moment, a traffic study is being conducted to determine what kind of things can be implemented to increase safety around Robinson schools.
We have 2 entrances at Robinson Elementary. We have 3 or 4 entrances at the high school. We have 2 entrances at the middle school. So there's some difficulties around that. They came at it and they attacked the problem, and I think they're going to have some really good solutions for our community.
The traffic study is expected to be done by the end of the year. The group hopes to present the findings to the board of directors in January. A nationwide shortage of physicians has affected many Americans, including here in Arkansas, sometimes prompting 3 to 4 month wait periods to see a primary care doctor. According to UAMS, Arkansas is experiencing one of the biggest shortages. UAMS Vice Chancellor Richard Turnage attributes some of the factors causing this to burnout after the pandemic and an aging workforce. Now, to stop it, new programs are working to not only bring in more doctors, but keep them in Arkansas.
Smaller number of physicians practicing that are needed by the population. Also a maldistribution between where the physicians are practicing and where the patient needs are.
So while the shortage continues, these programs are...
Now, these programs are still bringing in professionals like Dr. Wayne Bryan at the Little Rock Family Medicine. He cares for hundreds of Arkansans and now works to teach others. Well, as Thanksgiving approaches, local organizations work to make sure they have enough food to serve those in need. THV 11's Jalissa Garza gives us a closer look at their efforts and how you can help.
Compassion Center is one of the largest homeless shelters in the state of Arkansas.
Working year-round to make sure people have what they need and a safe space to stay.
We sleep close to 200 people a night and feed close between 500 to 600 meals a day.
Pastor William Holloway says during the holidays, they see a big increase in the need for food.
We sometimes can get between 8,000 and 1,000 meals a day.
Right now, they're working to make sure they have enough food to serve on Thanksgiving, but they can't provide without donations.
We go through 75 turkeys during the Thanksgiving, and we go through a couple 100 pounds of potatoes.
The Arkansas Food Bank also working to stock up on items for the holidays for the pantries they serve.
Over 300 pantries and 80 schools. So many of them not only do food distributions, but they do additional meal services, especially around Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Sarah Riffle with the food bank says during the pandemic, they saw a 37% increase, and the numbers haven't slowed down.
We distributed over 40 million pounds of food last year, and we anticipate distributing the same number of pounds this year.
As both organizations expect the demand to increase, they say any help will go a long way.
There's absolutely an opportunity to provide help for families that need it year-round.
If it wasn't for the help of our neighbors, there'd be no way possible could the Compassion Center feed this many people.
In Little Rock, Jalissa Garza, THV 11 News.
And if you want to donate food or money to either the Compassion Center or the food bank, we have that information on how you can help on our website. That is thv11.com. Well, early voting continues today in Pine Bluff, where voters are once again weighing in on a proposed tax increase. Go Forward Pine Bluff is hoping to convince the city to continue funding several safety and economic projects. We spoke with both those for and against these increases.
Because the tax is so important to our city, and it's just not a tax that people in Pine Bluff pay. If you are a visitor to Pine Bluff, if you're driving down the interstate and you stop for gas, you stop for food, you're paying for that tax as well.
They expect our citizens to allow them to have another $30 million with an open plate to spend it where they want to spend it. And I say to you, I believe our community is much smarter than that.
Well, the first sales tax initiative focuses on public safety and the other on education and economic development. Early voting runs until next Monday at the Jefferson County Courthouse, and Election Day is set for November 14th. Also today, a new pickleball complex opens in North Little Rock. Dogtown joins a long list of Central Arkansas cities serving up new facilities with 12 new courts in Burns Park. The city cut the ribbon this morning, and 1 week from today, the inaugural Big Deal Pickleball Tournament will begin. Now, if you want to compete, you can register online at thebigdealtournament.com. Well, we're 2 weeks away from carving those turkeys. Doctors say now's the time to vaccinate. Coming up, we show you what you need to know to protect your family from the flu, COVID, and RSV. Nathan?
And even though it has not been feeling like November here in Central Arkansas, the trees are saying a different story. Lots of colors starting to show up across Central Arkansas. I want to see your pictures. I'll let you know how to get those pictures in our direction and talk about rain is on the way for your Thursday next.